on here, I believe. James, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
All right, just a moment here. Give me just a second so I can. There you are. All right. All right, we'll go ahead, open it up for questions for James, and we can start. Looks like Robert Rosenthal's first in the queue. We'll go ahead, Robert.
Hey, James, I just wanted to ask you about the game in Dublin, how much that factored into your decision to come back, and if, COVID doesn't allow it to happen, how disappointing that might be.
Yeah, obviously that was a factor in my decision, but with the current times and everything, especially over in Europe and the restrictions they have over there, I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if the game didn't go through. But just the chance of that happening was definitely it was a big factor in me coming back.
And how much did both Blake and Ethan coming back, having the kind of the whole, all three of you doing it one more time together, how much did that factor in?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for, we knew we had this option for most of the season, so we didn't want to we didn't want to talk about too much because we wanted to focus on, the season at hand. But we talked about it and discussed internally what we thought was right, and how we wanted to make sure everyone's decision was in their best interest. But ultimately we decided all of us coming back together would, there's goals we all want to accomplish, and we're all super excited to get back.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
James, when you reflect on this past season on an individual basis, how would you kind of evaluate your performances?
I wasn't too happy with how the season went individually. Not to make excuses, I never really got into a full rhythm with COVID and cancellations. It was definitely a difficult season to handle. And I didn't get a lot of opportunities, honestly, for field goals. Half my field goals came in one game. So that also came into it was a big decision, a big factor in me coming back, just the lack of, game reps. And a guaranteed year of football is something that, it's never really guaranteed, but the opportunity to come back and play football is something that I can get more stats out there and, perform better, and just more game time scenarios and situations and stuff like that. But yeah, for my performance, I wasn't too thrilled with it. Obviously there was highs, but there was kicks I went back, and that's why another reason why I came back. I want to do better for the team.
So when you kind of look back on this season, I know you said you struggled with some things that you didn't want to. What are some things you're trying to kind of specifically focus on so you can better prepare yourself for the next level outside of just getting more game film?
Yeah, I think mentally, I want to do better. My preparation for games and stuff like that. Kick better in difficult conditions. The Northwestern game, I struggled a little bit, and kicking in those conditions with wind and rain, that's a big factor when it comes to NFL teams looking at you. I didn't perform well from distance this year, from over 50. So I think I can focus a little more on that, since I didn't really focus on that too much this offseason. I focused more inside of 50. So finding that balance of focusing on every distance and giving, and not kind of mentally psyching myself out just because of a distance. But yeah, those are most of the things. Just consistency is the main key from everywhere on the field. Whether you go out there for a 55-yarder at Northwestern, or you go out there for a 30-yarder against Nebraska, it's the same kick every time, and just trying to replicate that and simplify things upstairs and simplify my technique is something that I'm gonna definitely work towards this offseason.
Thanks, James.
Appreciate it.
Hey, James, hope you're well, man. Just wondering, I saw Blake tweet out one more with the lads. Just that part of it. I know you guys are a really tight KPS unit. Just having one more year of college and one more year of college football together, what's that mean for you? What do you think that'll be like?
It's special. I've only really started for 2 years, so having 3 years of being a starter is special for me. But having all of us together, Blake's gonna be a 5-year starter, which I don't know what the stats are with that, but you never really see that. And then Ethan, he's gonna be 3 or 4 year starter also. So it's just having us all back together is super special. And, we really feed off each other's energy really well. We all know each other really well at this point. We've been together for a long time, more than most KPS units have been together in college. So there's no reason why we all can't perform at the highest level next year. And we all have high expectations for ourselves. And I think, obviously we didn't make the decision solely off each other coming back, but it definitely, like I said before, had a huge factor in all of us coming back. And I think we're just all super excited to get going. And, Ethan unfortunately had an injury at the end of the year there. So he's going to be in rehab for, this off season and fixing his knee up. So we're wishing him the best with that. But, I think, that everyone in the room is just like super, super excited for next year.
I know every position group spends time with each other, but you guys seem to have, I don't want to say downtime, but I guess it's a little bit more like talkative time, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what is the uniqueness of that camaraderie you build as a KPS unit?
I think it's just, I guess, because we have to just communicate with each other on a different level. It's not all X's and O's, it's a lot of emotion that goes into it. There's a lot of mental preparation, visualization, whatever that is, whatever we want to do. But we basically are all each other's caddies, if you want to put it in that perspective. So like we all, if Blake and I will talk about what kind of kick I want to do here and how he'll hold the ball for the conditions, and just having that communication, we work on that through the week. It's not a game day thing. And just building that trust we have in one another. We have so much trust. I have trust that Ethan's going to snap the ball to Blake, and Blake's going to put it down on the spot. And Blake has trust in Ethan that he's going to snap the ball to him on punts, and and everyone has trust in Blake that he's going to kick the ball well and punt the ball well. So, I think how you build that trust is through communication, and we've all just become really close friends through it all, and we've been through the highs and lows together, and I think we're a super strong group.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Jeremy.
Hey, James, I had a question. I mean, you and Coach Ligg are obviously spoken very highly of him. As Coach Bielema fills out this coaching staff, maybe don't entirely know what it'll look like. Did that weigh into anything at all for you in terms of extra thought about returning?
Yeah, I'm not really too sure about the coaching changes. I can't really speak on that part, but Coach Bielema was definitely a huge factor in me coming back. I wanted to see who Mr. Whitman would hire, and when he hired Bielema and he came and talked to us and talked to the seniors, I instantly was bought into his message, and I saw a lot of smiles around the room, and I saw a lot of people excited about him being there, and that for me meant a lot because I've been through a lot with this program, and I think for my senior year, I want to end on a high. And I think Coach Bielema is really the guy to do that. His message was, it was emotional, it was passionate, it was, all about culture, and it was the things I love to hear, and the things I think that this team needs to improve on. And I think honestly, Mr. Whitman couldn't have done a better hire in this situation, and I really think having Coach B there and the message that he portrayed through the team was definitely a huge reason for me staying back.
And then I'm curious, like two of your roommates, Brandon and Doug, said they're coming back. Did you guys have any? I mean, obviously you've talked with the KPS unit, but like, were there any like living room talks about, hey, what do we do? How do we announce this? I mean, what was that like? Just going through that with those guys who literally share a roof with you.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was weird because you didn't really want to step on anyone's toes and ask them questions, that they didn't want to answer, even though they are your best friends. Because it was a situation where people were making decisions. There's multiple decisions that you had to make up in your mind. And Doug and Brandon obviously are great football players, have bright futures in the sport, and those decisions were probably hard for me because I feel for them age comes into an account if they want to go to the next level, and for me it's not so much of that, and injury prevention and all that. So their decision was definitely harder than mine, and I respect their decision a lot because it definitely wasn't easy. I know firsthand it wasn't easy for them to come to those decisions. But yeah, definitely, conversation was healthy for us. We wanted to get stuff off our chest and talk about the situation we were in and talk about the coaching hires and how we want to see the team. But I think ultimately it came down to we love the university that we're at. We committed to the university. We didn't commit to a coaching staff initially. We want to see this. We want to see this team win. We care a lot about what goes on here, and we care a lot about the history. And definitely having Doug as my roommate, who grew up as an Illini fan and has become my best friend here. He's shown me the history of Illinois and shown me how much it means to him, and that's gone into me now. And I'm like super proud to be on this team and super proud to be part of this university. And it meant a little more to come back as a 6th year and kind of make sure that that message gets across to the entire team and that we can build a winning culture. And I think having Doug back and us seniors back can really help that. So it was more of a, we had a responsibility and we have to pay our debts back to the university for investing in us. And hopefully that'll, pay dividends to the future of Illini football.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
James, I want to ducktail off of Joey's question because it really seems like the answers that we've gotten from Doug and from Brandon are, we're just not satisfied with how this year ended. If this is our last year, if this were to be our last year in our career, how much did that play into your decision? And if I don't know if you can even answer this, but if the season had gone well, would you have been okay to walk away after 5 years and gone, I'm good with this? Or was that a main factor in, look, I just can't walk away after 2-6 and however this season ended?
Yeah, it definitely was. We had high expectations for this year before the season. I think everyone did. So, it was definitely a disappointing year. And I think everyone knows that. And, obviously there were personal performances here and there that we did very well. But overall, from a team aspect, from a leadership aspect, I think people just weren't happy. And having this opportunity to come back and, really kind of right your wrongs in some ways of, culture, leadership, all that. I think that's an opportunity those guys couldn't really turn down. And we can right the ship here. We can really push this program in the right direction. And man, if the season went well and we all performed well, yeah, I would have been fine walking away and knowing that the team was in a better place now than it was when I first got here. But that wasn't the case. And, and it's also just another guaranteed year of football, and especially in my position, that it's never guaranteed. In the next level, there's only 32 jobs out there. And the fact that I can go out there and play the game that I love one more time and hopefully, and kind of prove myself one more time, that means the world to me. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Can I ask you about maybe something that doesn't really get talked about all that often, which is the academic side of this? Having a 6th year at the school, and what does that look like for you, and what is your plan for that?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently enrolled in the Masters of Management in the Geese College of Business, and I've laid it out so I'll graduate next fall. So it kind of works out pretty perfectly. I'll take classes this semester over summer, and then I'll only have 1 or 2 classes to take next fall, and then I'll be graduated, and then I'll leave campus after next season. So yeah, it works out great. Actually, there's a lot of silver linings in this, and you can look at those and take advantage of those. Yeah, it's definitely, it's all good, all smooth right now.
Thanks, James.
Appreciate it.
I think that's it for you, James.
Awesome.
Appreciate you
Appreciate it,
jumping
guys.
on here.
Have a good new year.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.